Ever find yourself looking at the charts for digital assets, maybe feeling a bit lost in all the noise, and just wish someone could, cut through it all and tell you what the real experts are actually looking at? Well, today, that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're doing a deep dive into Ripple's token, XRP. We've got this really interesting article here by Jordan Lienchev. He's been in the crypto space a while, writing since 2017. And he's brought together insights from some top analysts, giving us a pretty clear picture of where XRP is right now and what might be coming next.
Exactly. Our mission today is basically to unpack what these analysts are saying. We want to understand those key resistance levels that everyone seems to be talking about, the ones that could really dictate where XRP goes from here,
Yeah.
and figure out what these pros are truly watching to predict a major shift. It's about pulling out those nuggets of knowledge, like the article says, so you get the gist without getting totally bogged down.
Yeah, think of it like a shortcut, a way to get informed quickly. We'll look at XRP's recent journey, break down those specific price points the analysts have their eyes on, and then explore, well, what could happen if those levels actually break? Okay, let's get into it. So, the source material starts us off with XRP's recent history. And it's kind of a story of two halves, isn't it? It mentions a stellar Q4 24 and early Q1 25 performance. Sounds like a really strong start.
Oh, absolutely. A really significant period of positive movement. Definitely signaled some real potential there. But the article makes it clear that despite that initial surge, XRP has kind of stalled in the following months.
Yeah.
It's in what they're calling a consolidation phase right now.
Yeah.
And importantly, they say that phase has not ended yet.
Yeah.
So this current moment, it's pretty crucial for the asset. It's not surging, not collapsing, more like coiled energy, or maybe just waiting.
Right, a waiting game. And what's really interesting, especially with this consolidation, is how optimistic the analysts seem to be. Even though it's stalled, they're apparently adamant that the asset can unlock major gains. That belief, it kind of runs through the whole analysis, doesn't it? It sets up the big if, which brings us right to the core of it, really, what the analysts are all pointing to as the make or break factor, these key resistance levels. It feels like finding the combination to a lock.
Precisely. Their whole forecast seems to hinge on breaking these specific price points. Let's start with Ali Martinez. He looked at something called XRP's UTXO.
UTXO, right, unspent transaction outputs.
Exactly. It basically tracks the price where coins last moved. And based on that, Martinez found a pivotal level at $2.38. He points out that XRP has faced several rejections right at that $2.38 mark over the last few months. It's been a tough ceiling.
A stubborn one.
Very. And the key insight from Martinez is that a conclusive breakout, getting decisively above $2.38, could send the token flying. So it's not just a small step. It's potentially a launch pad.
Huh.
Martinez also gave a sort of nearer-term target. He predicted XRP can surge to $2.06 as long as it reclaims $2.33.
Okay, so two specific numbers from Martinez. $2.38 is the big one, and $2.33 is a closer level to watch for that potential surge to $2.06.
That's right. Two critical markers he's laid out.
Got it. So Martinez has his map, but are other analysts seeing the same landscape, or are they using different tools, maybe finding different hurdles for XRP?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting, the overlap. Big Guru, another analyst the article mentions, also outlined the significance of the same two major resistance lines.
The same two, $2.38 and $2.33.
The very same. And Big Guru adds some context. He noted XRP got rejected at the lower one, the $2.33 level, even after it confirmed what sounds like some pretty bullish technical patterns and inverse head and shoulders and triple bottom pattern.
Ah, okay. Those usually suggest a potential bottom is in, right? A reversal upwards.
Typically, yes. An inverse head and shoulders often signals a major low, and a triple bottom reinforces that idea of strong support. Finding both, that's usually seen as quite positive. So the fact XRP was rejected after showing those signs really highlights just how strong that $2.33 resistance actually is.
Wow, okay. So what's Big Guru saying now? Where does he see things?
His current take gives us something immediate to watch. He says XRP is now testing the $2.23 support. And his analysis suggests that the door's open for a surge back to $2.33 as long as it can remain above it.
Above $2.23, that is.
Correct. So $2.23 becomes this immediate line in the sand. It needs to hold that support for XRP to even get another shot at tackling $2.33.
It's like you need to stay on the ledge before you can try to climb higher.
Exactly. It's that immediate foundation.
Okay, so there's definitely some strong agreement building around $2.38 and $2.33. What about the third analyst, Elite Crypto? Do they echo this or maybe see even bigger things if these walls break?
Well, Elite Crypto's view, according to the article, is similar to that of Martinez. They also see XRP showing a strong bullish setup. Their observation is specific. The price is consistently respecting the horizontal support and now approaching the downtrend resistance.
So it's getting squeezed between support below and resistance above.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, like a spring coiling up, building pressure against that downward trend line. And their prediction is, well, pretty ambitious. Elite Crypto thinks a breakout from this obstacle could result in a massive price surge for Ripple's token.
Massive surge. Do they give targets?
They do. They suggest it could go perhaps to and above the $3.04 all-time high.
Wow, the actual all-time high?
Or they mentioned the $3.50 range, which has acted as a previous resistance level. So they're not just talking about reclaiming lost ground, they're suggesting potential for new highs, or at least challenging those historic peaks if that breakout happens.
Okay, that's definitely raising the stakes.
It really is. And what's so compelling, I think, is seeing this common thread emerge from all three analysts. They might be using slightly different language or focusing on different technical details, UTXO, chart patterns, support resistance lines. But the core message, the consensus, is overwhelming. A clean break above those key levels, especially $2.38 and $2.33, could really unleash significant upward momentum for XRP.
It's like they're all looking at the same mountain from slightly different viewpoints, but all agree on where the crucial climbing path is.
That's a great analogy. It's not just one opinion. It's this convergence of analysis. And honestly, that kind of consensus across different methods, it adds a lot of weight to the forecast,
Yeah.
It really strengthens the probability.
Absolutely. So the big message from these experts is pretty unified. They're seeing potential for a sharp upward move, maybe major gains if XRP can conquer these specific hurdles. It's not just guesswork, it's conditional. So for you listening, trying to navigate these signals, what does this kind of expert agreement actually mean? How should you interpret that?
Well, I think this deep dive really shows how analysts work. They're blending history, current patterns, specific metrics, all to forecast what might happen.
Yeah.
It's never about 100% certainty, right? Nobody has a perfect crystal ball.
Of course not.
But it is about identifying these high probability scenarios if certain conditions are met, like breaking that stubborn $2.38 ceiling XRP keeps hitting. The analysts are basically saying, here's the ceiling, here's exactly where it is, and here's what we think happens if it finally breaks. It reminds me of maybe different specialists examining a patient. One uses x-rays, another blood tests, another a physical exam, but they all point to the same critical factor for recovery. That convergence is powerful.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's really the value here, isn't it? It cuts through the vague, maybe goes up predictions. It gives you something concrete, actionable insights based on what these specific experts are seeing. You hear XRP might surge if it breaks $2.38 because analysts X, Y, and Z are watching these specific patterns. It turns noise into informed possibilities.
Precisely. It gives you the why and the what to watch for. Oh, and just a quick note on the source material itself. The article, like a lot of financial news online, did mention some sponsored offers things from Binance and Bybit.
Right, standard stuff in that space.
Yeah, just part of the context of where the analysis comes from. Nothing unusual, just worth noting. Stepping back for a second, this focus on resistance levels. It makes you think, doesn't it? How often in other areas, maybe learning something new or trying to break a habit, or even in our careers, are there these subtle but really critical thresholds? The ones that once you finally push past them just seem to unlock a whole new level of possibility.
That's a really interesting thought to leave people with. What are those hidden resistance points in our own lives or work? Well, we certainly hope this deep dive gave you a clearer, maybe more nuanced picture of what's happening in the XRP market right now based on these expert views. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep learning.